pretty significant smithing experience reward from the Sleeping Giant quest. So that's what we're going towards. We do need 40 smithing for our Family Crest quest. So once we finish off this one, then we can actually jump straight into that, as we currently have 39 smithing. But easier than having to do some of our other regular smithing, like using our steel bars, which we want to use for mahogany homes, for, you know, creating steel plate bodies, for example. It'd be a nice bit of cash, but no, we don't have to worry about that just yet. Let's just do it this way, get this quest complete, then move across onto our next quest. I actually have quite a bit of experience with the forge area here, as I did quite a bit of smithing with it with my main Ironman account. That's how I went from about 85 to 99, I think, something like that. So it's nothing new to me. I know about spinning it up to, you know, heat it up, about cooling it there, about, you know, dipping it into the lava, for example. So you get used to it. But actually a very, very fun mini game, and kudos to Jagex, excuse me. They've been doing really well lately with some of their mini games. I really enjoyed the rune crafting one. This is another good one. It's a bit of variety, you know. It's AFK-ish, but it rewards you with more experience than you otherwise would get, and some good rewards along the way too. So, you know, they've been knocking out the park recently. Not always a winner, of course. Not everyone's going to be a big fan of them, but for me personally, the games have been right up my alley. And there we have the completion of Sleeping Giants, taking us from 29 smithing all the way up to, no, 39 smithing, excuse me, all the way up to 41, giving us the necessary level to start with our next quest. Let's jump straight into it. We'll definitely be coming back here later on, completing some more commissions, and of course we need the bars, we need the items to be able to do that first, so it won't be for a while yet, but later on down the track for sure. And here we go with the start of the Family Crest quest. We have pretty much everything we need in the inventory. We do have to head into the wilderness, so we're going to hope that we don't come across any unsavory people in there. I guess we are taking everything in, so it's our own fault if we do die. No ill will towards them, but still would prefer not to, and have to go back and reclaim everything and lose some of our goodies, especially since we're taking our entire cash stack into the wilderness. Jeez, look at that. Juicy, juicy. What a target. No spades on us though, unfortunately, so no goodies there for our PKs. Just picked up our perfect gold ore. Don't know why it's lowercase, it's a bit odd, isn't it? Smelt both of those into perfect gold bars. Continue on with the quest. Everything else seems capitalized, right? Coins, super anti-poison, death runes, law runes, just lowercase perfect. Interesting. Here we are entering the wilderness. A little bit sketchy, but we're gonna just hover over with our teleport. We don't currently have the level for the Fire Blast, but we do have a Wizard's Mind Bomb or two, which allows us to get the Fire Blast spell onto them. We need to hit that once, hit Chronozon with one of each of those Elemental Blast spells, as we can see in the top left hand corner, and then afterwards we can just finish off the kill. I'm hoping that we can use our Ivan's Blast, which should kill him a little bit faster. But I also know that we can save spots, so why don't we just put up our protection prayers, hide in the corner here. Hopefully the poison spiders don't get to us if we can kind of lure Chronozon down here, and there we go, we should be absolutely fine. And I teleported away with a looting bag there. The looting bag would have been actually really good to have, so I'm a little bit annoyed that I did that without reading it. That's my mistake, that's my burden to bear, you know, it is what it is. I can't blame anyone but myself, but you will get to see some of my poor form there. At least the looting bag is easy to get. It's not like it was at a super uncommon or super rare drop, but still, could be handy to have so that we could save ourselves a couple minutes later on. And there's the completion of the Family Crest quest. 1 quest point, Steel Gauntlets, Gauntlet Skill and Views. Not too bad. Now we can use these Steel Gauntlets to upgrade some of our other items. What do we have? We either have the Cooking one, the Goldsmithing Gauntlets, and the Chaos one. Probably not going to be using the Chaos ones now that we have the Iron Blast. The Cooking one, not as useful unless we need to cook some high level food, so it's mostly going to be used for the Goldsmithing Gauntlet, I believe, and we can now smith gold as well. Well, we could already with our other quest, but now we can do it with the Goldsmithing Gauntlets and the Frost Gauntlets as well that we picked up earlier. At some point we're going to need to head back to our house and get some upgrades, some teleport chambers, everything else there. It's looking a little barren at the moment. We quite literally just have a Clockmaker's Bench, which thankfully is all we need for our Cold War quest. We just need to make 1 clockwork mechanism, and the rest of our quest items are already in here, so we've got everything we need. We can just go through, complete everything off in one fell swoop, and we should be good to go. But we have to start that off in Ardone, so why don't we head right there now. Another quest that gives us a little bit of experience, I believe, but should be easy enough to finish up as well. So let's just complete this one here and see what happens. Looks like I didn't quite have everything ready, had to go back and pick up our hammer, but now we can properly start the quest. Very inconspicuous little hidey hole here. And again, our Barren House comes in clutch. Leading the next stage of our quest, Clockwork Toy, Clockwork Penguin. And that's our penguin suit completed. Penguins destroyed my lovely bird hide, how could they? And now for the best part of the quest by far. Tuxedo time. Get shrunk in, jump into our little Clockwork Penguin. And here we go, look at us, what a marvel of engineering. Get in here with the rest of my penguin buddies and have a wee chat. We need a monkey speak amulet to speak to monkeys, however we can talk to penguins naturally. I guess they speak English. Those chickens are up to something. Me after 2 beers. Our quest luck has certainly been very good. It's supposedly supposed to take up to 3 kills to be able to be let free from that prison, but we managed to get it just after 1. Just like how our Draconia route was found in the first area, Draconia Rock, whatever it was, back in the Tree Gnome Village quest. And our Priest Imperial there was found on the very first pedestal, so maybe our RNG hasn't been great so far, but our actual quest luck has been pretty damn fantastic. And with our final cutscene with the gigantic penguin being made, you can see the penguins are certainly up to something, and there is the completion of our Cold War. Access to the iceberg, not that important, but 5,000 agility, 2,000 crafting, 1,500 construction experience, and 159 quest points. We are getting right up there to that 175 quest requirement, and as mentioned, we'll be starting our Recipe for Disaster and subquests in a little bit. Next on the list, changing it up a wee bit with Zoga Flesh Eaters. And we get 2 super restores out of this. Very, very nice. Bit of food as well, cooked chompies, but more importantly, the super restores are very nice, so we won't be able to get many of those until later on. I think they'll be quite useful for our Desert Treasure quest as well later on. And I just turned this man into a goddamn ogre. Pretty gnarly boss fight against Slash Bash. Thankfully, we are able to use our Crumble Undead, so even though we don't have the fletching level there to make the brutal arrows and the composite ogre bow, we can still manage to do it here just with our runes and with our magic. Jesus Christ, I never knew that the org bones were that expensive. 3 of them for 100k. That's not bad at all. I'll take all of these. Remove the knife as well. Take that one there, and we have the ogre artifacts. Now we head back there and should basically finish up the quest. And here's the completion of Zoga Flesh Eaters. 2,000 range, fletching and herbal experience, as well as the ability to make brutal arrows and recyclums bomb. Relisms bomb? Whatever. I always say recyclums, I don't know why. It just flows off the tongue a bit easier in my mind. We finish that up. Do we get any levels? 40 range, very nice. That's the level for our green dragon hide. Happy to see that one come in. There we go. And our U-bow as well, which we need for our Temple of Ikov, but we don't currently have one, nor does anybody in the group have one. So we might actually have to go and finish off some medium clues there and hope for the best to pick one of those up. Who knows? We'll have to figure out the best way to grind through that, as we are nearing 160 quest points, nearing our ability to complete off Recipe for Disaster, especially as we get quite a few points or quest points from our Recipe for Disaster subquests. And 29 fletching as well, plus 29 herb lore, not too shabby. The wiki also alerted me to something very, very useful, and that is that Yani Salika over here in Shiloh Village will actually purchase our Black Prism, which is no longer needed for anything else, for I believe 5,000 gold, which basically triples our existing cash stack. Very happy to have that happen. There we go, very nice. A little bit extra play cash for later on, and we also completed a medium task in the Cramj area. That must have been from taking the cart from before. Always good to use up some of the experience that you've got sitting in the bank. The iron arrow tips actually came from, not our dig site, but from our museum as we were hunting for the ruby necklace. Let's just add these on here. I think we should get a level very shortly, but iron arrow is probably not that useful, but the experience from it is not too bad. It was basically free experience, it's something that we need to do anyway. There is 30 fletching, and there's actually the level that we need for composite ogre bows. A bit, you know, reverse order there, but at least we got some experience from it. And 30 fletching, I believe, is a requirement for some other quests there as well, so happy to see that one come in too. Decided to do some of the tasks in the Cramj area. These are an easy task for fishing in the area to the north. We could have used anything, of course, even a small net or bait, but why not? We've got the lobster, we've got the fishing for it. Use that one up, but let's complete this all. We need 31 herb lore for Edgar's Ruse, and that should get us there with our little diary reward. First time entering the Tsar area, it always catches me off guard with just how much is going on the screen in here. But we are going to quote-unquote attempt the fight caves. We'll come back here at some point for our lovely fire cave, but for right now, let's just enter. Let's then leave. And that should consider, there we go, another easy task completed. And here's the rope swing for another easy task. And just mining some gold for one more. We should see the pop up any second now as soon as we collect one, of course. Mining gold is level 40, we're only level 41 mining, so it's not going to happen. No, excuse me, 50 mining, so it's not going to happen that quickly, but there we go. And final requirement is to pick up 5 pieces of seaweed, which of course we can pick up different pieces here. Damage task has been updated, we keep it going, but I believe there was also a trick where you could drop the seaweed and pick it up again, and it would continue counting. So if we just do this a couple more times, there we go. We managed to complete the easy Cramja diaries. Let's go and get our reward. And by talking to Jackie the Fruit, we should have our achievement diary completed. And I'm hoping that this lamp doesn't have to be used on level 30 plus. Let's see if it can be used on Herblore. There we go. So we used it on Herblore. 1000 experience, not that much. It's enough to get us to level 30, but we need 31. So maybe, that's only 1200 experience away. Either we could do one more easy diary, or we look for a medium one, or we just look for something else there. But 31 is our current goal. The Felidor easy area tasks seem pretty simple. Why don't we go ahead and do that one? There's a duck absolutely massacred. And here we have a security book claimed from our Port Sarim guard. Very easy task, just use our bucket on this water pump. Completed. There's our little notification, on to the next one. And here is Doric's Anvil, we're going to make some blurite limbs. Should be another easy task completed. And a mine talisman created for another easy task. And last but certainly not least, here we find out our crest. And the quest guide, the little journal guide helper, is quite useful. Perfect, okay. Don't even know what my crest was, but doesn't matter, we can figure that out later on. We head back down here to the south. I think it randomly generates or randomly assigns you one, so it's no big deal anyway. We head back here, speak to our big brain friend over here, Cerebral, and we claim our reward. Now again, this reward's not going to get us to 31 Herblore, but the shield's quite nice. It gives us a recharge of prayer, which will be quite useful one time a day if we have some of those pretty nasty bosses coming up later on. Perhaps even in our quest for Recipe for Disaster, that would be quite useful, as we don't really have that many prayer potions. Now we use this on our Herblore. That gets us, oh wow, this is 2,500 experience? Why was Karamja only 1,000? Okay, that definitely gives us our 31. And now we can go straight into our Edgar's Ruse quest. Beautiful. I have no idea whether this was 2.5 and Karamja was just 1,000 experience. But I am not complaining. Now, of course, we have the Karamja gloves, which are also decent gloves in their own right. They give some extra attack bonuses. The Felidor shield, good for the recharge prayer. And of course, we also have the Artie cloak. So, we're making a bit of progress through our quests around here as well. And of course, our Kurind for our Rada's Blessing, which we did earlier, that was for a better chance of getting our Xerix talisman. Let's go and tackle our Edgar's Ruse quest now, see what that gives us in terms of Herblore experience. Very interesting cave to live in, that's for sure, Edgar, but whatever floats your boat there, I can't really complain. No, in this housing market, you take what we get, right? So we've just poured alcohol, vodka specifically, over our pineapple chunks, which we're now feeding to a parrot. So again, another RuneScape quest where we do drug, non-consensually, I have to say. Dodgy. We have a parrot though, at least. We've got a drunk parrot, even better. Although to be fair, there are parrots and birds and squirrels and things that get drunk of their own volition due to fermented berries and whatnot, aren't they? So I guess we're just doing what nature intended right here. Good thing there's no Skyrim-esque police system, bounty system as Tenzing. I'm sorry, I've got to take your raw chicken so that we can complete this quest. I'm sure you understand, right, bud? Got to collect our drunken parrot that we hid under the rack. Is he still drunk? Looks like he is. Don't know how long that's been, but I guess those vodka-soaked pineapple chunks really did a number on the poor boy here. Oh, no, okay, there we go. We took 0 damage at least, so it's not like we take a full hit of damage. I know there is a way that you can just basically one click go for it. Why don't we try it after you run around there? Do we manage to make it there? Where do we go? Nope, not the right way. Okay, so we take 3 damage there. Oh, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it. Maybe the timing's already off and we can't do it. But that's a quitter's attitude. That's a quitter's attitude. Let's try it now. Is this going to work for us? Well, I'll be damned. We managed to get some goutweed. And it was a one-click go. Now, we do need some more here, as my quest guide suggests. Grab some more. That's number 2. And you can run under them if you get a little bit lucky like that. There we go. All planned though. No luck, no luck. There we go. That's number 3. That's all done. Now we've finished everything else. Dream Mental later on. Dragon Slayer 2 much later. Return to Sandview upstairs in the Tavely Herblore store. Let's head back to Sandview then. And by handing in the goutweed, this should be the completion of our Edgar's Ruse quest, and 11,000 Herblore experience, taking us from what were we beforehand, 31 Herblore, all the way to 36. Very, very nice stat boost. What are we looking for? Our prayer potions are 2 levels away. That'll be quite nice to reach. We have a couple of Renar weeds in our bank. Snape grass is easy enough to come by, and having some prayer restore potions will be pretty damn huge for our account, make our boss fights a lot easier. As I near the Recipe for Disaster quest line, I've realised that the Temple of Ikov quest still needs to be completed. Now, I did ask my clan mates, my group Ironman teammates, to see whether they had any U magic, any type of short bow, long bow. Although to be fair, we kind of need U if we need to be able to wield it there, right? Rather than grinding out 10, 20 plus levels. So what I've decided is we've got to get our own U short bow. What we could have done, there are multiple paths for this. I saw that it's a 1 in 34 chance to get from a medium clue scroll. So that's an option, but of course 1 in 34 doesn't account for the length of time that it takes to get those medium clues, to complete the medium clues, to get all the requirements for them, you know, buying steel plate legs and Addy Fullhelm, I don't know, Myth Kite Shield, all that kind of stuff. You know, it takes time to be able to complete those medium clues. So that could take us a very, very long time, with, you know, not even considering the fact that it could take us more than 1 in 34. It might take us 50, it might take us 100 to complete it. What I'm instead going to try and do, which again is still RNG based, but hopefully a little bit better for us, is killing spirits within the whirlpool here. So I think it's called the Ancient Caverns. Down there, we do have pretty tough enemies. They have about 120 HP each. But they have about a 1 in 40 chance to drop that, and also they can drop myth grapples, which can be useful for completing some of our diary rewards. So that's what we're going to go and try and do. First of all, we have to complete some of the barbarian training with Otto Gobbler, so we're going to give this a go first and foremost, and then I'll see you in the cavern, and let's hope that we get lucky. And this is all I need to get up to have access to our whirlpool. We need to complete some of this, dive into the whirlpool in the lake to the east. The spirits will use their abilities to ensure you arrive in the correct location. So we'll just jump right in there. You know, pretty bloody scary there. You know, you've seen some of those kind of hydro dams and, you know, the massive warning signs about do not enter, you know, certain death, all that kind of stuff. I guess the spirits help us every time here, so it's not quite as scary. Now let's go and bank, put the stuff away, get ready to head down there. Hopefully we can safe spot them, or sit in a corner and range them from afar, but I guess we'll wait and see. After AFKing upstairs for about 12 minutes to try and stop them from aggroing us, it's now time to start the tedious process of trying to figure out safe spots or ways that we can attack them without being attacked back. So, wish us luck. Might take a bit of time, but then we can start killing them with Crumble Undead. Now, unfortunately, Crumble Undead cannot be auto-cast, so we're going to have to manually click for every single one of these, which is going to take a wee while. Hopefully we can get it in our first 1000 casts, otherwise we're going to have to switch spells because we don't have any more Chaos Runes after this one. We'll have to use some Death Runes, maybe some Ivan's Blast, which I'd really rather not do. So let's hope that we get lucky and go under the rate. Remember, it is about a 1 in 42, 1 in 43, so fingers crossed that we can beat that average. Getting the first few kills would be absolutely fantastic, but let's see how we go. So it turns out that although these are spirits, they don't count as skeletons, zombies, ghosts, or shades. So if we try and Crumble Undead, then it actually can't hit these enemies. So all we're able to do is hit the one that spawns over here. Unfortunately, I haven't found a safe spot for him just yet, so hopefully we can find one soon. because otherwise it's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with them long term. I'm hoping that we can maybe stand out here and he won't go all this way, but we'll see if that is indeed the case. Is he going to start chasing us? No, he does not. So it looks like we're outside of his wander range around about here. So if we just keep going from here, wield all of these equipment pieces, there we go. We just keep attacking you from here and we should have a nice wee safe spot for the rest of the time. Assuming that the dragon never walks over and kills us, because that could absolutely just one-shot us if we're not paying attention. So now we're just going to continue on like this and hope for the best. So in case you're looking to do a similar thing for your own Ironman, what I did was I ran down here with an anti-dragonfire shield. I ran up this rough-hewn steps, which is in the southwestern corner of this cavern. I stood at the top of the steps for about 10 to 12 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, just to stop the aggro timer. Once I came down, none of these mobs were attacking me, including the brutal green dragon, as we can see right next to me. He's very placid now, which is great to see. I came down the steps and tried to attack them, but there was no way that I could get it worked inside. So I found that these two squares, which kind of mark the exit of this little area here, are a good place to stand. And the good news is that you can still actually run back and pick up your loots and then just run back here and it won't reset aggro. So if you're looking to do this yourself, do consider this path. And I would recommend, although the Crumble Undead is pretty good for that enemy, and it's actually killing him pretty fast, the fact that I can't auto cast is going to get quite annoying. So I'm actually glad that I only have 1000 casts, and at that point we probably switch to something else, maybe our Iban's Blast, and just finish off the rest of it there, but let's hope that it doesn't come to that. Well, I'll be damned, there is our U shortbow. That took no time at all. Let me actually just quickly check our loot tracker here. It's going to make the screen look a little bit stretched, apologies for that. But if we check over here, Skeleton Brute, it took us 6 kills before getting our U shortbow. Actually, goddamn amazing. I'm pretty fucking happy with that one. Just excuse my French. Now, this is what we need alongside 20 unnoted limpwort roots. I'm pretty sure that we have 20 unnoted limpwort roots, or limpwort roots in general. Don't know why they have to be specifically unnoted in there. In our group storage, so I can go pick that up, and now we can do our Temple of Ikov and move on towards Desert Treasure after there. I do know that we do need some magic logs for Desert Treasure, so we're going to have to figure out the best way to gather those as well, given that we are a wee bit shy off of the requirement. 75 needed, we're at 65. I don't really, fancy getting all the way up to 70 and then boosting to get them ourselves, so whether we can get them from some other item source would be absolutely fantastic. But we're going to leave that for next episode. For right now, thank you all very much for tuning in there. Great to have your support. Drop us a like, drop us a subscription if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.